Check, check, check. What up, world? It is the man with the plan here, Burt McGurk, aka PR, the King of Hearts, and you are now tuned in to Clocking Out, podcast you listen to when you need to get motivated and inspired to doing bigger and better things. What is going on, everybody? How you doing? How you living? How you been? Feel like it's been a minute. I wanted to jump on here and basically give a bit of an update of what's been going on, what's happening. I really don't expect anyone to jump in, but if you do, I really appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by and showing love. Um, Things have been a little hectic, and I just wanted to basically give a little bit of a update to those who care and those who have been showing love and support, those who I've had as guest speakers on the podcast. I just want to reassure them that I'm not falling off. It's just right now I'm going through a lot of things that I need to make sure I do properly. I've been really stressing out about not streaming and not making new content, and it's been bothering me. So I wanted to jump on here and just clear a few things up. Hold on, let me make sure I got all my social stuff on and kicking. Brofit, I just saw Brofit's workout. I actually gotta find a way to start hitting the gym and get it in. But I'm very appreciative, Brofit. Good looking out for always having your morning workouts for everybody. Also, a big shout out to Josh J Courage, who's doing his whole movement with getting fit for VCon. I really love that. I feel like the summertime, a lot of us get caught up trying to get ready for the summer and get fit for the summer. But I really like how no matter what, 24/7, all days of the year, these guys are really just focused on, staying fit, staying healthy, as well as Ryan from V Dads. I got to link up with him also, and we got to get something going. And I just like how people are really focusing not only on the mental aspect of being positive and being, supportive of other creators and other people and being open to have conversations with them and just see how they're doing, but also the physical aspect of things and making sure that people are staying healthy, staying active, and being educated on that side of things as well. I think that's also important. And so make sure you go follow Brofit on Twitter or X. I don't even know what the hell they call it anymore. I'm honestly always feel like I'm gonna call it Twitter. Yo, this light has me beaming right now. Hold on, I was looking fabulous before. Now I look like I'm Casper. And my white shirt don't help neither. I gotta fix this. All this is gonna be a little different as time goes on. I'm still learning a lot of things. But anyway, I wanted to jump on here real quick. Yes, to give a shout out to everyone who's been doing their thing, everyone who's been really supportive. I've been on and off with joining communities and whatnot just because of the fact I fucking overthink a lot. And anytime I jump into live streams of other people who have their own little communities going on, I always feel like I'm trying too hard to like make myself fit in. I try too hard to be a part of the conversation, and I try to joke, and then sometimes it hits me that I really don't have that history or that time in with these people to be able to joke like that. So I kind of get in my own head and I overthink, and I hold back. A lot of people, I don't want to name stream, all of all the different communities that we are a part of, all the different creators, all the different streamers, all that they have going on. I always try my best to show up and spend some time there. I'm not too active in the chat or in like the private DMs or anything like that we have going on in the group chats or any of that, just because of the fact that I overthink. I always feel like I don't have that history with a lot of people to be that comfortable to speak the way that a lot of people do. Yeah, I hear you. And but that's the thing. It's like I feel like some people it's more natural for them, and me a lot of the times, as dumb as it may sound, I think like a big thing that kind of messes it up for me is the way that I look. I know it sounds weird, but I feel like the way that I look, people look at me and they assume like, all right, this guy either has this as his main goal, or he's trying to do something malicious, or he's not really into this, or he has enough things going for him or whatever. Like, I always feel like it's the way things look or it's presented. And I'm always just trying my best to just present myself in a positive way. But I do understand how sometimes I could look like I'm either an asshole or a dickhead or something like that, because I was like that for a good portion of my life growing up. I was a street kid. I grew up around other hoodlums and things like that. So it's kind of that thing in my nature where I kind of have that like look, like I'll punch you in the face kind of, but I try to change that. I don't have it 24/7, but sometimes I feel like it's just on automatically. And I'll be looking at somebody like, what the fuck? And I don't mean it that way. And then I also know that sometimes when you're chatting in the chat or in DMs, things can come off a different way. When people don't really know you personally, the things that you can say, you'll say it in a jokingly, sarcastically way. And sometimes it gets taken a little too seriously. And I've noticed that with other people in the community, that they tend to have their little moments where they bump heads or they don't agree on things. And I try my best to avoid that because I really don't like the back and forth of explaining yourself and everything. I've been in that situation before in this community, which is why, in all honesty, I've literally cut myself from the main core community of V friends. I permanently left the Discord. I stopped showing up for, the spaces and things like that. And it was all because there's a story behind it. I don't like to get too into it, but I had a very, very horrible, bad experience with someone who's in the community. And it was right when I was really trying to start transitioning from just doing audio versions of the podcast to start slowly going into the video aspect of it, of having guest speakers and doing like recording and having them see me and the guest speaker and making different types of content. Which I know isn't amazing. I'm still working on it. I'm still learning right now. Everything that I'm doing is a learning process. I don't like to present myself as if I know everything I'm doing. Anytime that I say anything about my podcasts or my videos or vlogs or whatever, I always say I'm an amateur podcaster. I'm an amateur videographer, vlogger, because I still feel like I am. I still feel like a lot of the things that I do still needs a lot of work. And everything that I put out right now, I literally put it out in a way that's just meant to be documented. I'm trying to just document my journey and be able to look back so I can critique myself. It's also to help a lot of people, but it's more so for myself. I want to be able to look back at the first video I did, the first podcast episode I did, or the first time I ever reached out to anyone to be a guest speaker or made any content, and see my growth and see where I was doing horrible at and work on it and perfect on it, whether it's sound or visually or the way I'm communicating with people and present myself online. Like all those things, I try my best to improve. But in no way, shape, or form do I look at clocking out my podcast and what I'm doing all about me or all about a specific brand. And it's not a problem for anyone who does that, but I literally, that's why whenever I try to make clips of people, I just make it all about them. I try not to show myself asking questions. I just want it to be them explaining who they are, what they're doing. Like my whole focus behind this has been and always will be to try my best to make something to help support other creators and what they're doing. I have, it's not a huge following, but compared to all my other social media accounts or compared to the social media accounts to other people that I've been able to network with and speak with, I have a huge following compared to them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just because before any of the podcasting and everything, I was really stuck on the whole thing of staying online and being active 24/7. That's how I spent my time. And I had a lot of free time before. So I took Gary's advice. Gary, before he became Gary V, he just spent his time online talking about what he knew and what he liked, which was wine. So he was always on Twitter, which is now X, and he was always just commenting to people and talking to people about wine. That's what he stuck to. That's how he built his little empire, and how that was the foreground, the foundation of what he built. And that's what he built it off of, what he really cared about, what he knew about. And me, I feel like there's not much things that I really know and care about that other people care about or share interest in. And I've been finding out that I'm wrong in that. The more conversations I have with people, and in the beginning, being that all I cared about was talking to people, all I did was talk to people nonstop online, to the point that my following just started getting up and it really grew. So a lot of people look at my X or my Twitter account and see this like 4,800 something followers, and they'll look at, oh, it's all bots or it's spam or whatever. Probably. But the reason it got that high is because for a long time, I didn't even have the podcast, and all I did was network with people and talk to them because I just wanted to learn. I didn't think about documenting those conversations, because if I did, I would have been on episode freaking 1,250 or something like that in season 5 already. But I didn't think about documenting anything because in my mind, all I kept thinking was people would feel like I'm just using them to get content or using them to and I get that. I understand that. That's the reason I avoided it. It wasn't until I really started having conversations with people and the more content that I consumed of Gary's that I was like, you know what, fuck all that. Let me just document it and put it out there and just use it as a learning experience and hope that people can learn from my mistakes and what I'm doing. That's the reason why I started putting things out there. That's what led to me having a really horrible, shitty ass experience with someone that was in the community and basically made me, I shared that insecurity and he just leaned into it and made it a thing that he can try to like bully me with it. And then it got to the point that he got threatened to ban me from VFriends. Meanwhile, this person isn't part of VFriends in any way professionally. He doesn't work for them or nothing. He was just another community member. But he just had close ties with specific people and he was trying to leverage that as threats to me. He would threaten me saying he was going to talk to Gary personally and tell him to ban me from any stuff. He brought up Jeremy and started saying how Jeremy was going to ban me from certain things. Long and behold, not long after, I got a DM by certain people and I started seeing that this person was going out their way to jump on spaces and lives and just hit up people in their inbox and tell them not to follow me, not to support me. Some didn't listen, some didn't go with it, some believed this story and unfollowed me and canceled things because I had a whole bunch of things going on right after VCon. You know, I was the guy with the camera at VCon. Everyone saw me and they knew who I was. I had my little picture on my shirt and, you know, I really went out my way to show my ass basically at VCon to get out of my comfort zone. And right after I got hit with that experience with that person, it kind of fucked everything up. And, you know, I just got to the point where I was really in my head and I didn't want to podcast no more. So I had all these things set up to do all these giveaways and all these guest speakers and work with them and everything. And I only did one. I only did one giveaway after that. And after that, I decided I was going to be done with VFriends and done with the community and just not bother because this person made me feel as if I was just using the community, which really wasn't the case. But he was making me insecure about it again. The things that I was worrying about people thinking and what they would take it as, that no one was even, they didn't even have it in their mind. This person brought it up and he started planting that seed around there. And it just got to the point where people started thinking that that was the case. So I disappeared for a while and I only came back to podcasting and live streaming and I started taking it more seriously because of Ben Kind. I always say this, I've been kind on Twitter, on X. I had a conversation with him. I call him my big brother because in all honesty, he has more experience dealing with certain things. And he was able to get me to get out of that funk and just say fuck it and ignore what anyone had to say, what anyone was thinking or felt or whatever. As long as I knew for a fact that my intentions were good and pure and I didn't have any malicious intent on doing anything, you know, I could keep doing it because I would be able to show through my actions, you know, what I really had intended. Yes, and that's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm reading it late. I was just on a roll. But yeah, no, I do. I second guess everything, and it's because of my own self-doubt, my own conscious things that are in my head that I know I shouldn't even be thinking about, but it just sits there for so long. And like the second that there's anything that gives them a bit of life, they start to sprout out and spread everywhere, and it messes everything up. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to be that guy that would show up and everyone's like, oh, here's this guy again, just trying to like get content or trying to, you know what I mean? So a lot of times when I start interacting with people in chat or certain communities, I hold myself back because I overthink that people are going to think that I'm just that guy. So, you know, normally I'd reach out to people, yo, you're working on a project, you know, let me know how I can help and this. And then I stopped doing that because people started taking it as like, I'm just trying to use them for stuff. So it kind of messed things up for me. But Ben got me to see it in a different way and got me basically out of that mindset. And I stopped thinking like that. And I just started going full in. I muted so many accounts. I unfollowed so many people. I blocked so many people just so I can avoid seeing anything that would trigger that and just go all in and focused on what I was doing and trying to get better at it and trying to support other people. The reason I say all that is because a lot of the plans and ideas that I had in the past, I shared with a few people and they told me it wouldn't work. And the reason they told me it wouldn't work is because and this is just more than one person that told me this, because none of the ideas that I had were profitable. And it's because I never intended to do any of this for profit. So all my ideas basically came off where other people would benefit from it, but me. Like it's like an endless pit of just throwing money and throwing time and effort into something when in all honesty, I thought it was just me doing something to help other people. For example, the first idea that I had that I was going to do, I remember when I first heard a Courtyard, I reached out to them, and it was before they had a digital vending machine and all that. And I mentioned that idea to them. And then they told me, like, yeah, we're working on something. It's going to take some time, but we're definitely going to get to that. And I had an idea to do something that literally, when I brought it up to someone, they gave me a heads up. And this was like months ago. So this is why I give a lot of respect to these people. I was told how, not in detail, but after I explained my idea of what I was trying to do, I was basically told, don't do that because there's someone else that's a bit ahead of you on that, and it's just going to take some time, but they're going to roll that out. Long and behold, a few months later, To the Moon did their thing. They have their stuff with Courtyard, they have their packs, but I had an idea, something similar to that. And again, if it wasn't for speaking with people and sharing my thoughts and ideas, I would have spent all this time on that. They would have came out with it. I would have been heartbroken, like, they beat me to it and all. But it's things like that that would happen really often that I started noticing, like, okay, it's not that I have a bad idea. People just have other ways to go about it. So I abandoned a lot of things out of fear that people would think I was copying other people. And really, I looked at it myself, like, as long as I know I don't have a bad intention behind it, it shouldn't matter if it's similar or exactly like anybody else's, whatever. It is what it is. Things happen, but it's just about going about it in the right way. And that's all I really wanted to focus on, because I never wanted to be at the mercy of someone else's community like I was in the beginning of VFriends. I was going all in on it, and I was doing everything about VFriends. And then I felt heartbroken because I had this horrible experience. And then I started overthinking, like I was made to seem like this specific type of person. And I felt I had nowhere to go. Like the one community that I thought I found my home in and that I was comfortable in, I felt like it got tainted and I was already marked as like this person. Meanwhile, there wasn't even that many people that knew about the situation that happened, let alone who gave a fuck. So it took some time, but after I got that through my head, I got back on it. And now I'm slowly trying to get back into building up the process of getting to those ideas that I had. So I want to share a bunch of those, right? Like the main point of all this is just to support other people. If a guest comes on here, it's all about them. Anytime that I have a guest speaker, I tell them, listen, the episode is all about you. I myself want to learn as much as I can about you, about what you're doing and what it is that got you to do that, what I can learn from your firsthand experience that you're willing to share with me so that I can use it to benefit on what I'm doing, but also do it in a way to help the next person who's watching, who's listening, who probably wants to do what I'm doing or what you're doing. And they can avoid those unnecessary steps that you've learned your mistakes from that'll help them move a little bit further. Like that's always been the point. I always felt like when you come into this, whether it's social media creating, starting your own business, doing a brand, building a community, whatever the hell it is, I feel like no one really has a solid place to go to get their information except for YouTube or Google. And there's so many people that swear they're professional at this and that it's really hard to know who to listen to, what advice to take seriously, what statistics or stats or analytics to go by. Like, so it's hard. So I always felt like if I can talk to someone firsthand who actually did it, is actually doing it, and is actually willing to give me the time to explain how they did it from A to B, why not document it so I have it for my own records so I can go back and I can learn? No different than having notes or being able to pick up the phone and talk to this person. Why can't I just do that and document it for other people so they can have that also if they ever need it? I really appreciate that. I do, Savvy. You don't understand that. I go back to our recording of our podcast, of our convo a lot. It really helps me a lot. Listening to the things you've shared, listening to the things you've told me are a lot of things I haven't heard anyone ever say to me, which is why when I think about it, I think that's what really got me as emotional and like so like that's what broke me when we spoke. It was a lot of things that I needed to hear, that I wanted to hear, and it's hard to say that you need that without saying it, because at times you want that. You want that type of conversation with someone that you care about or that knows you. But you also feel like if you ask for it, it devalues it, because then you're like, the only reason you're telling me this is because I told you. The only reason you're doing it is because I told you. So to have a complete stranger who doesn't know you from a hole in the wall come on and have a conversation, and whether it's that you're able to see through me and see it, or you just feel it, whatever it is, it was just a thing, like it was meant to happen, you know, and it's something that I needed. And I didn't know I needed it then, and I did. And that's why a lot of times I go back to that conversation. It really helps me. Sometimes I overthink about stuff, and when I listen to that, or I listen to the things, you know, that I spoke about with Ben, a lot of those things really get my head back on track. Because there's times that I tell people this a lot, and they find it hard to believe. I don't have a social life. If I'm not working or with my kids, I don't see anyone. The only person that I do see is my best friend, who's Eric, who doesn't live too far from me. He's the only one that I've really kept in contact with after high school and everything like that. Everyone else is like doing their own thing. Like, we still keep in contact once in a blue, but he's the only one that I really talk to. Other than that, besides for the conversations I have, whether it's the little what's ups and good mornings and DMs and stuff, or the little interactions in the chat, or the conversations I have with people that come onto the podcast, I don't speak with nobody. So it's hard to not get in your own head at times, especially like that, you know, to just go from social media to being with your kids and then being alone. And then, you know, so you get in your own head a lot. And like I mentioned, there's a lot of things that get miscommunicated online via DM and everything. So a lot of times I try to send videos to people or voice notes and things just so that they hear my tone of voice and they know nothing's being said in a way that's going to be taken in a different way. But a lot of that helps. And because of that, I want to, like, I feel indebted to so many of you to make sure I keep doing this. You know, like, one thing I heard, and I'm not sure if he's the one who made it, but Conor McGregor said this in one of his like interviews, but your lack of effort is a disrespect to the people who believe in you. It's the highest form of disrespect to the people who believe in you. So for me not to be trying and have so many of you say, like, you know, I'm talented, or I'm a good person, or I'm this, like, that breaks my heart when I don't do something about it, because I honestly feel that way about myself. And it's like I've been asking for that and wanting that so long. So now that I actually have people that do say that and do show up and do support me and do tell me to keep going, like, I want to make sure that I do that, not only just for them, but for myself. But at the same time, I feel like I'm doing everyone a disservice. Like, I'm not, like, you know, you came on my podcast and you trusted me with your story and your information, and I'm just letting it die. I don't want to do that. And then at the same time, you know, my kids see what I'm doing, and I have my kids. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, in the earlier episodes of the podcast, I had my son and my daughter come on and I talked to them, and I used to do open boxes with my son and everything. And now it's like I could do it on a more, not a huge, but a more bigger level, and more, you know, make it look a lot nicer and make it look more presentable. And before, I had no one following and no one subscribed and no one watching. And now that I have a good amount of people that are actually supporting and watching, and those little views, like, it's really not for me. I do it more for my kids. Like, they get it hyped up, like, oh, we almost got 100 views, or you got 70 subscribers on YouTube, and you got, like, it's a big thing to me. Because if not, I overthink, like, you know, I know my kids, they'll look at it and they see all these other subscribers or viewers and everything like that, and they're like, you know, this person has 100,000 subscribers, why don't you, daddy? And why? So doing it with them, they understand more the process. And now, like, you know, I'm not as embarrassed as much as being known as the guy, like, oh, that's your boyfriend, or that's your son, or that's your father, or your friend that does the streaming stuff that no one cares about. When meanwhile, I got a bunch of people that are showing up, and it's like I'm getting more recognition for my attempt of trying, which is what I really care about, over the quality of things, you know, because that'll come with time. But that's all I really wanted to. Like, that's all I really wanted. I just wanted to be acknowledged that I was trying something, not looked at as the guy, like, oh, here he comes again trying to fucking make videos off of people and stuff, and like doesn't do nothing. So it's like, I say all this because I know at times I show up to stuff, but I'm just always watching and I'm just in the background and I don't get active in the chat. That's why sometimes I'll just drop an emoji, or and then other times I'll say stuff and I feel like, you know, the host or whatever just isn't a fan of me, or is like, shit, here he is again. And like, it's hard to ignore that gut feeling of you not being wanted or around, you know, especially when you've relied on it for so long. If you get a gut feeling something isn't right, in my experience, chances is something isn't right. You know what I mean? So it's like, for a lot of people, you'll notice, like, in certain streams, I'll be active in the chat and I'll talk. There's other ones that I just show up and I'll drop like some eyes to be like, yo, I'm watching, I'm here. And then I won't say nothing no more but I'll be there. And then every now and then, if I see an opportunity to say something, I'll jump in and I'll try to say something. And like, I'll try a few times. And if I see it gets ignored, or sometimes there's certain things in the chat that come up and I'm like, all right, is that an indirect towards me? And I overthink. So I just try to step back because I don't want to get too much in my own head where I ruin it for myself, and I just get to the point where I was like, yo, not only do I not want to be up in this and show up for these people and be a part of this, but I also just don't want to do this no more. Like, what's the point? So the reason I'm explaining all that is because I took a little break for a while, but it had nothing to do with any of that type of stuff. I'm only sharing it because in that the past 2 weeks or so that I haven't streamed or haven't posted anything, I've been paying more attention to other people who either just started or have been doing it. And I see they've been met with those same obstacles in the sense of people accusing them of not being honest or doing things for a malicious reason. And the more time you spend, like if you actually put in those 50 plus hours of learning about somebody, what they're doing and checking them out and see how often they show up, or you can tell real recognize real. I always say that. And you can tell those who are trying to bullshit you, who are trying to get something out of you or get over on you or whatever. Like, I don't care who you are or what you've experienced in your life. You can kind of get that feeling. And I've just saw a lot of people who had good intentions being mislabeled because of people just not being okay with the way they're doing things, or jealous, I guess you could even say, of the attention that they get over them. And it's like they could be doing the same thing, and one person who literally has no following will get more attention than the next person who has like 100,000 followers or some shit like that. And then they just want to quickly start accusing them of doing malicious things or having, bad intentions behind their actions. And it bothers me to see that. So it's like I feel like I have to speak that at least out to say, because I know there's a few people that I've talked to privately. Yo, you were in the live stream. Why didn't you say something in the chat? Or you go live, why don't you announce it and let everyone know? It's like this. I just did this randomly and just popped on because I wanted to. But I didn't ask for anyone to come on. Not that there's a problem with that. I don't mean to downplay anyone who does ask. I just feel like I'm not at a point where I should tell people to stop what they're doing and come check me out. Like, if you have the time, come by. I appreciate it, but I still know that I have so much to learn. So I'll never really go out my way that much above and beyond for myself, in the sense like, yo, come show up because I'm going to say something that's going to change your life and you need it. And I'm not. Right now, I'm just giving a little update of what's going on, and I'm sharing my personal thoughts and my personal experiences of what has happened, only because I've seen other people who are trying to do this themselves and trying to get into space also coming across those same issues. And I just want to share my story to people, because there's a lot of people, for whatever reason, they hit me up and like, yo, you're doing so good. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm doing shit. Like, I'm not like, I still have a long way to go. And they'll hit me up for advice, and they'll hit me up. And it's like, I get a little confused because I'm like, yo, I'm not the person you should be coming to. And even then I'll tell them like, listen, like, this is what I do. This is what I've done. This is what works for me. This is what didn't work for me. But then I always point them in a direction that I feel of someone else who's doing more than me and doing better, because I feel like if I learn from that person that way, maybe they could do the same thing. So I'm always like, that's the whole point of this. I want to be like that map when you go to the mall and it says you are here and you need help I want to point you in the right direction of where to go so you don't waste your time. That's really all I'm trying to do. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, Soggy and Savvy. Thank you for coming in. And I need to get this fixed. For whatever reason, I don't see any of the messages either from YouTube or from X. So that's why I have it on my phone also, just in case, so I can hop on there. But that's basically always been my intention. I want to make sure that I make a properly presented page, channel, brand, whatever you want to call it, but that's strictly focused on other creators and guest speakers. Before I get to how I'm going to do that, because I've been thinking about this idea for so fucking long and I've shared it with so many people. And like I've said, the only thing that I keep getting from people is, you can't make a profit off of it. How are you going to profit off of it? It's not going to work. You can't make money. You can't sustain it. In all honesty, my whole plan with this was just to do it and use my own personal money to just keep doing it. That's it. Like, I never looked at it like I'm going to get money for ads and I'm going to get money off subscribers and I don't have anything monetized. Like, the only thing that I just got a subscription button for is on Twitch. And even then, I haven't been promoting that because I still feel some type of way about asking people to subscribe. Like, and I have a way around that in the sense that I feel a little bit better of it. but it's just making sure, again, I don't want to overthink too much, but I'm worried about people thinking I'm trying to weasel them in some way or take advantage and be a snake or something and do something malicious with it. So it's like I've been trying to find ways to go about it where everything's going to be right in front of your face and there's no way I can bullshit. And I keep saying this, a lot of people have seen it, maybe you haven't. I keep saying I'm going to disrupt the way that people do subscriptions and do giveaways and do raffles and do like all, because what I'm going to do, I promise you people are going to get pissed off because one, when I share this idea with people, they say you can't do that. That's not going to work. And the only reason you can is because you have something to hide and you don't want people to know what's really going on. I really don't, because my intentions aren't to make a profit out of this. The only thing that I want to benefit from is just to have people follow and people tune in. Because the more people follow and tune in, when I do have a guest speaker that I'm looking to support, you guys are supporting them. That's the only thing that I'm trying to get out of this. What I want to do is get better at podcasting. I want to get better at asking questions and making content. And my life isn't interesting. So I feel like if I can do that in a way where not only I could get the experience, but other people can benefit from it, where I can make them some content that helps shed some light on who they are, what they're doing and working on, and spread it out there. That's what I'm trying to do. That's really it. But I've tried, like, it's even Gary put up a video not too long ago, and I felt like it was directed towards me because for the past like 3 years, I've been trying to fucking work for Gary and VFriends. And I felt like I've just been going about it wrong. I made everything I did, like all the videos, all VFriends, all the POAPs that I did. I got like 30 something POAPs that I made that a lot of people don't know about, that I've been doing since the beginning when I first started podcasting. And I stopped it after a while because I felt like people were only tuning in just to get a POAP, but they didn't really care about the guest speaker or what was going on. So I stopped it, but I want to bring it back because now I'm more educated. I've learned from other people who've used it and done things in the past. I've learned from their mistakes. I saw what worked and didn't work. So I feel now I have more of a better idea of how to go about it, where it can be used in a productive way, but not only that, in an educational way to help people and prepare them for this wave of Web3 that's going to be coming out. Because the more and more people try to brush it off, it always comes back bigger and stronger, and people don't understand that. I feel like it's going to be a huge part of our lives, whether it's crypto, whether it's NFTs, how we use it, whether you're buying art or anything, or whether you're going to use NFTs as the new way for you signing a lease for a house or renting a house or getting. I feel like if you even just know the simple basics of it, it's going to help people a lot. And that's all I want to do. Whether you want to use it towards your business or brand, or whether you're just going to use it in your everyday life, I feel like it's going to play a major role. And a lot of people just brush it off. So if I can be a part of slowly helping onboard people to that and educate them in a little bit, because I don't know everything, but I know enough to be able to share with someone and point them in the right direction. That's always my goal. I want to share enough of whatever it is that I know, or anyone that I know can help them, be like, listen, I only know this, but this person knows way more. You know what I mean? But again, I would never want to just point them to someone that would be a malicious person or does have bad intentions. So it's like I try my best to do my homework and go through things and properly talk to people and just know what I need to before I go out my way to be like, yo, this is a good person, or this is the person you should be talking to, and go check them out and go work with them, because you never know. So that's always been my focus on that. But before I get to that, basically the reason I haven't been streaming and podcasting, and I had a few people, man, that I hope they don't take it personally. I had to cancel stuff. I wanted my main goal for like 2 weeks ago, what I was going to do before I found out that I landed 2 new jobs. I originally was going to focus from now until VCon only to interview people who wanted to be guest speakers, because a lot of people saying that they needed that as as something to qualify or be or to even be considered to be a speaker. Like they needed to be on a podcast, or they needed to have something of speaking or anything to give them an example that they were good at speaking. They knew how to present themselves and all that stuff like that. So from my understanding, that was one of the requirements. So I wanted to do my part to help people do that. I found out that I landed these 2 new jobs. The work schedule is hectic. And financially, I've been in a tough spot. You know, not that I'm like dying for food or nothing like that. I don't want anyone to think anything like that, because I know how this community is. By the next day, there's a fucking GoFundMe and they got like $1 million to give. So that's how amazing this community is. But it's nothing like that. You know, my bills are paid, my kids have food, you know, things that all that is taken care of. It's just one of those things where you got to choose. Do you go get a haircut, or do you keep the money just in case, your kids need something, or you got to get food, or you need gas in your car to get from A to B? And it was like one of those situations, and I had to think twice. VCon, I really wanted to go to VCon. Last year I was able to go because I got gifted two VCon tickets from Tim Livingston, who was the creator of VectorBots, which is now changed into Living Bots. And he did that for me, which is why when I came back, I did a giveaway for him where he gave away some bots. And, I gave away some V-Friends merch, from plushies to 6-inch figures to the little minis, and that's what I did. And my plan was to do that consecutively with a lot of other people that I met after VCon. But after that experience, I had a lot of things went downhill, and it messed it up for me, that experience I had with that person. And it really got me to think that like I was doing something really shitty. So I stopped and I held on to all that stuff. I have it. I'm be completely honest with you. I have not bought anything. I mean, besides for all the plushies, like I bought all that shit when it was like at high price. Right now, like the figurines are probably like what, $10. I bought them when they were like $30 each. The plushies are probably like $10, $12 or something. I bought them when they were like $40 each or $60 each. Like, so I bought it at like the high price, and I have boxes on boxes of Macy's boxes just sitting there filled with all this stuff that I never gave away, which that was the whole intention. So I'm going to use that. I went in and I bought a whole bunch of, of the slab cards, because originally I wanted to get cards graded and help onboard people to Courtyard and do that, just to give them, not to benefit from it, but just to give them an excuse to make a wallet, to get that experience, to have some skin in the game of knowing how wallets work and how NFTs and crypto were exchanged. I feel like once you get that hands-on experience, it's easier to understand. And I feel like just the smallest experience with that or interaction in that space helps people a long way. So that's where instead I started doing POAPs. And POAPs, there's no risk. You create a wallet for free, you get a POAP for free, and it's literally like an NFT just on a different blockchain. And it gives people an idea of how it works, and you don't have to risk putting in money. You don't have to pay gas fees, and you don't have to worry about if you paid for an NFT or something and you did it for a project that's going to have a rug pull later on, or that people are going to see as a scam, or, so you don't have to worry about that things. I feel like myself, as when I first came into the space, that was the number one thing I was worried about, putting my money into something that I was just looking at, because everyone at first was just looking at crypto as a money grab. Let's just go get this NFT and flip it for money. They really didn't care about the art as much as they said they did. But that's the reason it was popular. That's the reason a lot of people and celebrities started jumping on the bandwagon and making all these projects, and then they led to nothing. And we see a lot of it happening now. Crypto is up right now. Now you see all these random artists coming out of the blue that they have a project that they haven't been here for the past 2 years or so, but now out of nowhere they're so into crypto, and now they had a crypto project. Well, let's see how long they last and how long they're going to be around and how often they're going to be in the spaces after it goes down again. It's those things that I want to try and properly educate people who are new to the space before they get in, and then they start turning against whatever community that first onboarded them and started telling them, listen, invest in this, it's a great idea. I want to be able to give that experience to people without them paying for shit. You get what I'm saying? And if they do pay for anything, I want whatever money does come from this, whether it's from an ad, a subscription, or a donation, or if I do a raffle or a giveaway, or if I sell merch, I want all that money to go to our guest speakers, to supporting other creators, to supporting other brands who are starting from nothing and trying to make it. People that I feel like aren't getting the recognition for the actual hard work that they're putting in. That's what I want to do. That's always been the whole point of clocking out, to help people clock out, whether it's just sharing information, having you as a guest speaker, sharing your posts. Like, that's all I did back in the day, was repost and share everyone's stuff, to the point that everyone and their mother muted me. Like, I got blackballed so hard because everyone's like, yo, you're always on my feed because you're always sharing other people's stuff. Yeah, that's the whole point. I'm not on social. I don't have shit going on. I'm not selling nothing. I don't have nothing for no one to buy. I'm not benefiting. I just think this is a good idea. This person knows what they're talking about. I feel like all these other people should know. And again, it goes back to my following. I have 4,800 something followers. They don't give a shit what I personally have to say or what the fuck I'm doing, but they see that every now and then I share something that turns out being a big thing, or that they at first ignored, and then later on down the line, they realize, yo, I should have paid attention to that. You know, it's little things like that. And it's not to say I'm the go be all person to get all your information from, but it's like I'm so much online trying to learn so much like every day because I got nothing else to fucking do, that the chances that I land on something or I know someone or I find a brand or a creator that's actually putting in the work and that's actually consistent and cares and it turns into something, like those chances are high, you know? So I wanted to take advantage of that and be like, yo, you know what? I may not be good at creating something myself or having my own business or selling anything, but I'm good at finding the people that are. So at first I looked at it as a selfish thing in the sense of I just want to learn everything I can from these people. And then I didn't document anything. And then the more and more I got on, I was like, yo, instead of always writing shit down, why don't I just record it? Then I recorded it and I kept it to myself. Then I was like, yo, instead of me just recording all this shit, because I was running out of fucking room, I was like, yo, why don't I share this? And the only reason I didn't, again, I was overthinking that people would feel like I was using them. So I always made sure, like even back then, I went as far as having a form that went in detail about what I was doing and how. And I don't do that no more because I felt like a lot of people look, I'm not going to sign the form. Like you don't even have that many followers and no one tunes in. Like just tell me when we're going live, you know? And it got to the point that I got uncomfortable with asking people to sign the form and stuff just to avoid that back and forth of what are you doing and why'd you do this and why aren't you sharing it or what's going, that I stopped it. I stopped it and I just kept it simple. I DM you, okay, we'll do it this day on this time and let's do it. And in the past, you know, I ran into problems because of that. People would accuse me of doing this and not doing that and not providing them with content that I recorded. And it's like, it just got to a point that I would see certain things and I saw it didn't align with what they were telling me they were trying to do or who they were. And within a conversation, I saw their real colors. And then afterwards, I saw that they only wanted something specific out of me and what I was doing. And when I didn't deliver exactly what they expected, just because they thought, like, okay, you're just going to do this on this day when I tell you how I want and you're going to change it as many times. And meanwhile, I'm doing everything for free. And it's just like, you know, I don't mind helping when I can, but there's a certain line of respect that, you know, you should be grateful for a person. Doesn't matter whether you're a creator, a host of a podcast, and you're having guest speakers, or whether you just have people viewing and in the chat. Be grateful people are showing up and giving their time because they could be doing anything else. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people I guarantee you would much prefer being on Netflix watching something on YouTube or something where they're not overthinking as much. That's how at least I feel. There's certain times I show up at certain communities and I feel a certain way because I'm like, yo, I'm always showing up, but I get ignored. Or I'm always sharing your stuff, but you never show up to my stuff and never share my stuff. So that stuff started getting in my head too much to the point that literally now, like, I don't care. I'll share whatever I see, and I try not to go on to look at what anyone else is doing. Like I literally try to mute stuff out and I avoid it. Like if you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't. If you have something good that's going on, I'm going to share it. Whether I benefit from it in any way or you notice or acknowledge it. That's why a lot of times when I post stuff, I don't tag people. You know, I'll go live on a Twitch stream and I'll post that I'm like to go join it, but I try not to tag them because I feel like if I do, people look at it like, oh, you're just doing it for attention, but it's really not. I just want to help out, you know. And again, this all falls down to my experience that I had in the past and letting it get in my head and letting it affect the way that I was. And I'm only sharing all this not to start anything or point like this person that. It's just the way that I personally feel. And I've always said that when I started doing this and I spoke with Ben and he got me to get back into this, I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to fake the funk. I wasn't going to sugarcoat shit. I have no reason to. I have no contract with no one. I'm not affiliated with anybody in any way where I have to watch what I'm saying or whatever. The only thing that I overthink sometimes is I like to give out VFriend stuff. And the only reason why is because VFriends, the community, helped me at a very hard time. I was in a dark place and I went to VCon not knowing anyone really, and I had the time of my life, which is why it really breaks my heart that I'm not able to go this year, because I feel like I have even more of a reason to go this year. Like I actually have people that I can go and talk to, that I can say are a friend or that I'm looking forward to seeing, or, you know, I didn't have that last year. Last year, I just went with my friend Eric. It was his first introduction into not only the Web3 space, but VFriends, a community and that type of world. And that shitty experience I had with someone, I had it along with him. So I felt fucked up bringing him along when he really didn't want to go. And then him having that experience, and then as well me having that experience for the first time, thinking like, yo, this can't be like that. So thank God, after the first day or so, I had a way better experience with other people that I met and that I spoke to, and it changed the way that I did. But it was something that was just in the back of my mind when I got back. And then it started snowballing into something else. So I stepped back, and I almost was going to leave the whole space entirely. I was going to abandon clocking out and podcasting and streaming. Like, I felt stupid because, again, like, there was no benefit. The only benefit that I got from this was talking to people and learning so I can improve. And I just wanted to make content and help other people. And instead it was made to look like it was a malicious thing that I had in mind. So I only share all that whenever I talk about this, because I know that there's other people I've spoken to privately in the DMs who tell me they feel the same way for certain things. Or they're like, yo, this person said that I was trying to take advantage and just collect people's addresses by faking a giveaway so that I can sell their information. And to me, like, someone going through all that is just fucking stupid. When literally there's all these other big companies that we sign up for and we literally give our credit card numbers to just so we have a chance to win something, and then we don't win. If you're not accusing that person of doing such a thing, why would you accuse another person who's literally just starting and only trying? To downplay someone who's literally trying to do something when they could literally do nothing at all is just it's fucked up to me. So that's why it's like I feel like I have to say it, because I know I'm not the only one. And I feel like many people feel that way or get uncomfortable, and they stay quiet out of the fear of being judged. Or like me, I had the fear of like, oh God, like I'm getting threatened by a community that isn't mine. This person might actually have some pull and it might actually make me look bad. And I like to be liked and I hate to be disliked, and I'm pretty sure that's the case with a lot of people. And with what I'm doing, like, I never want to be looked at as the guy that's just doing stuff to talk shit or start drama or to take advantage of anyone's kindness, or to, I don't know. I don't want to take advantage of people being in a position where they feel weak or lost, and then you try to give them that hope, and it's like you're only tricking them just to have them as a client or a customer or something like that. I try not to do that. I know what that feels like, and it sucks. And in this world of digital stuff, it happens a lot. There's a lot of people that fake the funk just so that they can get an email, or just so they can get an address or a phone number, and I can't benefit from that. You know what I mean? At the same time, a lot of things, like, I want to set up things in a certain way to make sure that any profit or any benefit that I get from this goes to the people that are here, goes to the guest speakers, goes to the supporters. So it's like, I'm going to get into that. I'm so anxious to tell you what I'm going to do, but I feel like I have to explain a lot first. And so I got off track, but basically, hold on, let me read some of the chat that's going on. Yeah. Yeah, nah, I hear you. And you're 100% right. And like I mentioned, I know that's what I need to do. Like, we all know what we have to do. A lot of us act like we don't know what's the next move, and we're always looking for that person to talk to, or that content creator that shares that piece of content that snaps us out of it or whatever. But in all honesty, all of us need to stop the bullshit. No one knows us better than ourselves, all right? And no one knows our situations better than we do. We all know our habits. We all know our financial situations, our mental state, our physical state, the people we surround ourselves with. We know what we have to fucking do to fix our problem and to get out of the funk that we're in. The shit is that we, a lot of the times, are so blinded by all the bullshit and all the self-doubt that we ignore that that voice in our head that gives us that advice, that's telling us, listen, motherfucker, you're fucking up and you're going left when you know for a fact you got to be going right. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be smoking. You shouldn't be staying out late. You shouldn't be eating that shit. You shouldn't be hanging around these people. You shouldn't be wasting your money and your time on this bull. We know those things. It's just it tends to be a little easier when we have that cheerleader, that support group telling us like, yo, bro, because then we use that as an excuse. Like, yo, we can't let that person down, or we can't look bad in front of this person, or we can't embarrass this person. And that's what I feel pushes us even more, when at the same time we should be doing that for ourselves. Like, yo, we can't let ourselves down. And that's what I try to do a lot of the times, why I get very emotional with a lot of you when I speak with you, because the only thing that pops in my head, man, is like, where the fuck was this motherfucker when I was younger? You know what I mean? Or where was Gary Vee's content when I was a kid? If I would have listened to it when I was a kid, I'd be a fucking millionaire by now. My life would be amazing. Or where was this person? Why did I not have him as a friend instead of hanging around these? But like, it's those things. And then on top of thinking of the younger version of myself, listening to this and kind of healing that trauma, I guess, or that mindset, it also gives me hope in the sense that my kids have an opportunity of meeting someone like this person. You know, I always worry about my kids meeting the wrong people, or there not being enough good people left in the world. And when I meet all of you guys, it changes it and it gives me hope. And I don't look at things being that awful moving forward into the future, you know? If you need me to tell you overthinking, yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, you're right. It is easier to tell other people. We're always good at giving other people advice, but we suck at taking our own advice. That's one thing I agree. I think a lot of us are in that situation, but I've been learning to slowly take my own advice and slowly, you know, take those steps to become better, you know, not perfect, but it's like Deb, who I had on the podcast also, she has a thing where it says 1% better each day. You don't have to be 100%. You don't have to accomplish a million things, but just that 1%. Focus on that 1% and do that in each day. It's like the whole thing of, you know, you have to build a brick wall. Don't do it all in one day. Just lay one brick a day. You know, and little do you know, you're going to have a whole fucking, the wall of China just fucking wrapping around the whole world and you didn't even know it, you know? And it's true. I've been learning that the hard way. All the things as people saying, give yourself time, take patience. Hey, what's going on, bro? Fit. And it's those little things, those little steps, and you don't know it turns into something that's bigger and better. And basically, I said all that just to say that, you know, I'm trying to take this more seriously. I'm back. I'm working 2 new jobs. My work hours are from 6 in the morning. That I start at 6 in the morning, but I got to wake up at like 4:30 so that I could leave by 5 to get there by 6. And then I work all the way until 5 o'clock and in the afternoon, 5 p.m. And that's Monday through Friday, depending on how much work I have and how fast I can finish it. Today I had, you know, a bit of a break. I was able to cut out early, but then I got to go back and, you know, do what I got to do. Before, all I did was, you know, I was on unemployment for a while and I was relying on my savings, and unemployment really didn't help anything. So I still had to hustle. I was still, you know, doing side jobs and doing things off the books to get the money that I needed. But then I really liked it because as not as the only thing I had productive going on was the podcast. So it kept me from losing my shit. But at the same time, I was able to be there for my kids. I was able to take my daughter to school. I was able to pick my daughter and my son up from school and be with them afterwards and do homework with them and have dinner and all that. Now, not so much, because it's literally as soon as I get out, you know, they're already ate dinner and they got to go to bed. The kids are in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock because they got school the next day. So it's hard to see them now, you know. So that's Monday through Friday. I work from 6 to 5 p.m., sometimes 6 p.m., depending again how much work I have to do. Then every other weekend, I have to commute to the city for another job that I have, and I'm working over there too. And then I commute back and forth. So the weekends that I'm not with my kids, every alternating weekend, I go work. Monday through Friday, I'm working. You know, I'm trying to, it's not completely necessary to do that, but I'm trying to catch up for all the time that I didn't have to make that money, to work, you know, and I'm trying to do that. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I felt like I built up a good momentum with the podcast that I overthink. Like I didn't stream, I'm not sharing, I'm not making content, I'm not having new guest speakers, I'm not. And again, it falls into the thing, like I feel like I'm letting the people down who believe in me, and I don't want to do that. So I beat myself up, but I've been learning to try to adapt to that, especially with all of you letting me know, yo, stop thinking like that. Take the time for yourself. Focus on you. Make sure you're good first before doing anything else. You know, I promised so many people that I was going to send them stuff, and I couldn't send it. As embarrassing as it was, I didn't have the $10 to $15 to send a box or anything. Like I have all the stuff. And that's why I keep showing it. Like, I feel like, again, overthinking. I feel like people feel like this motherfucker don't have shit to give us. Like, he's just lying. He's just fucking. Meanwhile, I got shit just sitting here. Like, I have the green screen because I'm just embarrassed with my setup. But sooner that won't be the case. I'm moving shit around. But I have boxes of cards that are still foiled up and not like, you don't understand. I have a whole bunch of V-Friends shit that's just sitting there. I got a whole bunch of graded cards that I don't even really show people like that I just want to give away. Like, I'm not trying to flip. I'm not trying to sell. I'm not trying, like, I don't have the time for that shit. And in all honesty, I don't care for it. I did it before. I made some money. It was a learning experience. I had a good time, but I don't see myself doing it 24/7 because I know what it takes to be in that, to how much you have to be on top of it and the knowledge you have to obtain and what, and I lose my shit. You know, it's one of the reasons I left the VFriends Discord. Like, I was so addicted to it that I was on it, whether they had a giveaway or whether they were announcing they were going to sell some shit, or I was on it. I felt like I had to be on it. I had to know everything about everything. And then it just got to the point that the day or two that I missed things, I would beat myself up. And I was getting FOMO like crazy. I was like a fucking crack addict for VFriend stuff, that I had to buy the shoes. I got to buy the hat. I got to get the book. I got to, so much shit. And it was driving me crazy. At the second that I couldn't show up to someone's, you know, podcast or someone's live stream, I'd be like, fuck, like, they're gonna think I don't care. It sucks to have people on as guests and they're doing their own thing, and then when they actually have a live stream, you can't make it to the live stream despite you listening or watching afterwards. I'd beat myself up for not being able to be there presently and show support. And I'd be like, damn, you know, they're gonna take it some type of way. And again, it's overthinking. It's something that I gotta get out of my head, and slowly it's been getting to that. Slowly I've been getting better with it. I got 2 new great opportunities grinding behind the scenes, and I could do more bigger content later. Clocking out is grinding behind the scenes. Yo, that's what I try. I try so hard. I really try so hard to say that, but again, I feel like that's why a lot of times I try to make it clear I'm not looking for sympathy. I post emotional stuff. I get real raw with how I feel or what I'm thinking, and it's not to point anyone out or to blame anyone or to make anyone feel bad or any of that. I honestly use my social media and all the content I make because, as much as it's going to sound fucked up, I don't give a shit about what any of you think in the sense of how or what I say. All right. I know it sounds contradicting because at the same time here, I'm overthinking. Yes, I overthink in the sense of, like I said before, I feel the lack of effort is the highest form of disrespect to those who believe in you. And that's what I don't want. I don't want to disappoint you guys in the sense of, yo, we're sitting here and supporting him and he doesn't give a shit. When I say I don't give a fuck about, I mean like the people who aren't, you know, hitting me up and asking me how I'm doing or answering back or checking in. And you know what I'm saying? The other people, the judgment, like, I don't care about that. The main reason, in all honesty, the secret behind this, that I do this and I try my best to do it in a specific way, all I think about are my kids. My kids are on their tabs, they're on their phones, they're on, one day, maybe not now, but at some point, they're going to come across my stuff themselves. They know that I do podcasting, but I know they don't tune in every time and all that. I don't expect them to, because the stuff that I do is not stuff that they're interested in. But at the same time, I know at some point, you know, everything lives on the internet. One day they're going to come across my stuff, or one day they're going to come across that person that's going to want to be a smart ass and be like, yeah, this is your dad doing stupid. Like, you know what I mean? I think about that. And in all honesty, I don't care if I embarrass myself, but I feel like if anyone ever takes a second to even listen to what I'm saying, this is the same way I went about my music. I don't care about winning awards or getting, if you just take a second to hear what I'm saying, just to acknowledge that I'm a person and that I'm going through shit just like you, that's all I care about. Because if you can learn something from that, or you can feel even a little bit better to know you're not alone, because I'm going to tell you, that's the one thing I struggle with. For the longest time, like, I'm alone. And then a lot of you made me realize that's not the case. And I want to do that for someone else. I have the balls to be on here and show myself and explain my story A to Z. And the only reason I do it is because I feel like there's a lot of other people that are in the same situation, and they don't do it because they look at it like, yo, I can't let people know I'm down to my last dollar. You know, I'm always doing streams, and who wants to come on a podcast or a stream with someone who's broke and doesn't know what the fuck they're doing? Like, what are they going to benefit from it? Forgetting that at the end of the day, yo, that's just a person. Like, maybe they just want to talk to somebody. Maybe they just don't want to be alone for 3 hours out the day or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I say it openly. Like, literally, the only real social interactions I have with people, besides for my kids and besides for like the high and by of when you go to work, you know, you have to, like, you see people. The only conversations I really have with are the ones that I have on my podcast. or the ones that I have with you guys. And other than that, I do not socialize with no one. I have no social life. I don't. And it's not because, oh man, we got to feel bad for them. I grew up as a street kid. I'm a hoodlum. Like around where I grew up in, where my neighborhood, my town, where I'm raised, people know me, but not for good shit. I was a really bad fucking kid when I was little. You know what I mean? I was the type that you want to get in a fight. Okay, we'll get in a fight, but I'm not the type to argue with you. If I don't like you and you're saying something stupid, I'm the type just to pick up a fucking brick and crack your face in half and just end it right away. I don't like the back and forth and all he says, she, nah. And that's what kind of happened when I had this little interaction with this person. I went as far as finding out where the person lived, and I was going to show up to their house, and I was thinking all this dumb shit. And in my head, I'm like, yo, it's not that serious. But it's just that mentality that I have of what I used to be like what I'm used to. It kicks in. It's like being in a car and like you stop and you automatically put your hand out because you're thinking, you're with your kid or something. Meanwhile, it's another grown adult and they're like, yo, what are you doing? And it's like you just can't help it. You want to make sure they're safe and good. I'm the type of person, someone honks at me, I'm getting out my car to go and fucking argue with them as soon as the light turns green. Like, and it takes me that split second of looking at my kids in the back of the car to be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? So it's those things that I'm trying to get out of. But that's the reason I go so in detail sometimes with explaining my history or how I'm feeling or anything. I feel a lot of people have like this tough guy like exterior, or they got to be big and bad, or they want to fake the funk and make it seem like their life is perfect and they're making big moves. And then when they hit that point where they feel alone and they're struggling and it's a hard time, they don't say shit because they're more worried about what their image is or what people are going to think like that instead of asking for fucking help. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. I've been like that. I've been really depressed. I've been on, like, I still keep them just for I have a bin, like a whole drawer that's filled with nothing but prescriptions to the brim of shit that I had for anxiety and stress and depression and shit. And I don't do none of that, but I did all that thinking I needed to. And it was just, again, it goes back to, what the fuck you have to do. We just lie to ourselves and act like we have no clue what the next move is or what we should be doing when we know damn well what the fuck we should be doing. Yeah. Yeah, it does, because again, if I'm not working, I'm with my kids. When I'm with my kids, I try just to keep it simple. I stay home, and when we do go out, I do think about that. Anytime I do come across someone that does something that triggers me to go back to the way I used to be, someone cutting me in line, someone giving me a dirty look, or someone saying something stupid, I could easily go back and I could say some shit that'll make them fucking shit themselves, or I could scare the shit out of them. Like I'm that person. Like, trust me. But I really try not to be. I was that person for so long that that's all I'm known for. Around here, they don't know. No one knows I podcast. No one knows I do none of this shit. That's why, like, the once in a blue that people come across it, like, what the fuck? And then they're like, Dad, you don't max this. You know what I mean? Or this isn't this doesn't seem like you would do this. No, I agree with you, Savvy. I'm the same way. I used to rob people. I used to rob people. I used to fuck people up. I was part of little gangs and cliques. I did a lot of malicious, fucked up shit. And none of that really, I didn't really, like, when you're doing something fucked up, you're doing something fucked up. But when you're young, you really don't care. And I don't want to use I was young as an excuse. But I was young, I was stupid. And again, like I said, I wish I had someone like Gary Vaynerchuk's content back in the day, so I could it would make me think. Because back then I looked up to the older kids. I was 12, 13 years old hanging out with 18, 19-year-olds who were in the street, who made me think, there was only one way to go about stuff, and it was the street life. And if someone disrespected you, you had to step to them, whether it was that they disrespected you or your family or the street that you lived on or were repping or whatever the fuck stupid shit they do now. Like, yes, defend your family and everything like that, but to an extent. You don't need to fucking go and light their car on fire. And you get what I'm saying? Like, I was that to the extreme. I was that person that I felt like I had to do something, like in the movies. I had to be that guy. I had to be the Scarface or the fucking Carlito, or, you know what I mean? Like, those are the people I looked up to growing up when I was little, because I was in the street. And I felt like whatever I didn't see firsthand, I had to learn on my own. So when the moment came, I had to show myself. There was something else I heard another person say that really resonated with me that I keep on the back of my mind. The first one was what I heard from Conor McGregor. The second one, I forget his name, but what Conor McGregor says is your lack of effort is the highest form of disrespect to those who believe in you. That's the first one. The second one that I heard that really got to me is it was used in reference to men, but I feel like this can be referenced to anybody. A lot of us sacrifice the kindness in our heart, the love that we have. We sacrifice that good version of ourselves so that we can gain experience. All right. And in gaining that experience, we lose that part of ourselves. But the reason we do it is to have the experience to defend and protect the kindness and love and caring for the people that we care about. So it's like I'm willing to go to hell and back to make sure my kids don't fucking have to. I'm willing to go out there and look crazy so that my kids don't fucking have to, you know? And I felt like that for a long time, not knowing that there's other ways to go about it. You don't have to do that. You know, I'd be the crazy guy to go all out on someone and go get in their face and do something to push them, because at the end of the day, the one thing that I'm not scared of, I don't care how big you are, how tough you look, I'll fight anybody because I know how far I'll take it. I know for a fact that I'm willing to really, I'll fuck you up. I don't know how else to put it. I'll fuck you up. I'll fuck you up. I don't care what the fuck it is. You got a bat, I'll bring a gun. You don't got a bat and you're bigger than me, I'll pick up a brick. Like, I don't care. I don't think of, you could get assault and you could, that's how stupid I was. But then I'm also that exaggerated when it comes to other shit, depending on my temper. And because I know that of myself, before I didn't care the consequences, now I do, not because of myself. I don't care about if I go to jail, and I don't give a shit about that. A lot of people say, but I've dealt with all that. So that's why I don't care. I've dealt with it so at a young age that it's numbing. But the only thing that changed it now is that I'm a dad. I have kids. So it's like I just can't disappear, and I just can't make it seem like that's okay, because if something happens to me, God forbid, the last thing my kids are going to see and think is, yep, when that happens, you go do that, and you do it until you either die and go in jail just like daddy. Like, no, because that's not the way. But again, it's just that's been engraved in my head for so many years as a kid, up until like my mid-20s, that like it took a while for me to cut myself from that and really learn that, yo, it doesn't need to be like that. You don't need to be around these people who you think are cool or have street cred or what. None of that shit matters. And it's like I learned that at such a late age that I feel like if I would have learned that earlier, I had someone really giving me that guidance from their experience, not just saying it, like I would have been way better off. You know what I mean? So if I can kind of be someone's Gary V, I know I don't mean to compare myself like that, but if I can be that kind, like that version of someone where they look at me and they could at least learn one thing, like, yo, you don't got to do it that way. There's other ways to go. That's what I want to try and do. That's really it. That's really it. But I know I'm not the face of anything. I'm not I can't be a mascot to nothing. Like, I know myself, like I've done way too much fucked up shit for me to be looked at as a golden boy or like the answer to anything. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I know that I have the experience to be able to tell someone like, yo, that's fucked up. Don't do it. Like, head this way. And if you need a good example, here's this person. So that's the reason, why I do a lot of this and why I overthink and why sometimes I show up and I disappear. My social battery and I disappear for a while. But I'm always in the background. I'm like, there's a party and I'm that dude in the back in the corner just chilling, like looking at his phone, acting like I got a message. Meanwhile, I'm just refreshing the fucking weather and making it seem like I got a notification or something. Like I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I show up just to be like, yep, he was there. And then you won't even know when I left. Like I just fucking fade out into the back and disappear. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that everyone's like, yo, where's he at? And like they'll see me 1 minute and then I disappear. And like you'll think something so mysterious, like, oh, he's out doing something. And meanwhile, I'm fucking back at my house, watching Netflix, about to take a nap or some shit. Like that's what I mean by people look at me and they assume like, yo, he either has so much going on or he's like so. And really, that's not the case. I just got so good at faking that and hiding certain things that I just got tired of it. And the reason I got tired isn't because I want the sympathy of, oh, woe is me. No, I got tired because I realized at a point, like I said, I felt alone and I felt embarrassed to ask for help, whether it's just needing someone to talk to or someone to point out like, yo, you're doing something wrong, you got to slow down. But I got tired of knowing I needed that and not reaching out for the help because I was just scared of what, people would say or how I'd look. And I want to make sure that anyone else who feels like me or looks like me or comes from what I come from knows like, yo, bro, you don't have to keep that whole tough guy shit up. Yes, keep it in your back pocket, for the day, if and when you need to use it, but you don't need to be on high alert 24/7, fucking looking like the world's not out to get you, bro. You're not fucking Jason Bourne or James Bond or Batman or like no one's looking to get you. Like everyone is worried about their own shit. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Like that's one thing I try to tell everyone. Like, and it comes off in a bad way, but many other creators say it. That no one cares. Everyone's too worried about their own life. Yes, they'll show up and they'll like your stuff, but it's for you to think that they're thinking about you and your content all hours of the day, all week, all month. You're crazy. People got their own lives. They got their own shit that they got to deal with. So I just want to remind people of that because I'm one of those people that I'll come off stream and then for the next fucking 2 days, I'll be like, damn, did Savvy think I was fucking talking to her in a bad way? Or did Soggy take it like I was doing an indirect towards him? Or did this person in this stream take it like when really it's like, yo, that person's somewhere like, shit, did I feed my dog today? And when the fuck do I got to go for my dentist appointment? Like, they don't fucking care, bro. Like, we waste so much time and energy on the dumbest fucking shit. Like, people care, and if they care, they're gonna let you know they care. And if they don't give a fuck, they're gonna let you know in more ways that they don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, whether they do or don't, it's not a responsibility. It doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm trying to just let people know. If you ever feel like that, yo, you're not alone. But at the same time, you're definitely fucking overthinking. And I know for a fact because I overthink like a motherfucker. So it's like I'm always cautious of what I say and what I do. And the only reason I do it is because I'm worried about what someone's going to think or take it as. And I'm trying my best to stop that shit. That's why I curse in my podcast. And that's why I do, because it's me. I try not to curse when it's like anything kid related. If I have my kids on it, like, those things I'm cautious of. But anything else, like, I know no little kids are watching my stuff. Everybody here, despite me putting up V-Friend stuff, like, yo, everyone's in their mid 30s or early or late 20s, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, y'all know what the fuck is going on. Like, real recognize real. We all got to stop the bullshit. All of us are going through shit in one way or another. All of us have problems, whether it's financially, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, all of us have one or the other, if not all. That's why we all fucking gravitate to each other. We all are going through something. You know what I mean? And I want to stop that shit where we feel like we have to fake certain things or hide that things bother us or whatever. Like, man, fuck it. Just say it. And with all that is why I'm saying all this. And then I don't need to explain why I haven't been streaming, but I want to. I want to let people know, like, yo, I know I haven't streamed for a while. I know it's something that, I'm telling people, please take me serious and, show up and do this. But at the same time, like, bro, you're not around. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's a reason for it. So dealing with that work schedule, trying to balance that, trying to make sure I'm doing my daily daddy duties and I'm there for my kids and I show up and they don't think like, oh, daddy just left us to go make money. Like, I don't want that because I felt like that as a kid whenever my parents weren't around. I would take it that way. Maybe, I was wrong, but at the same time as a kid, like, me and their mother aren't together. So I don't know. I didn't experience that as a kid. When I went to sleep, my parents were there, my mom and my dad. When I woke up, my parents were there, my mom and my dad. When I got home from school, they were, you get what I'm saying? Like, my kids have to deal with the whole thing of being picked up and dropped off. I don't know what goes through a 12-year-old or an 8-year-old mind when they got to get ready to go see their dad. And then after a few hours, they got to head back home. Or if they stay at their dad's house one night and then they stay at their mom's house the next night or every other weekend, like, I know that does shit. I know that mentally that does things. I don't know though I didn't experience that. So it's like, it's a mind fuck for me to try to figure out how to fix that or how to make it work or, to make sure I'm not doing something that's permanently going to fuck them up in their head or make them think some type of thing about me or their mother or the love that we have for them or to make them feel like they're less of an actual kid because other families are different. Like, all those things come into play. And it's the same way when it comes to the podcast. I don't ever want to say that I'm here for someone and I'm doing stuff just for them and to help. And then the day comes that I don't show up. And that's the one day that someone needed to hear something or someone needed to have a conversation or just needed to be distracted. Or I was like that, for example, with Casey Neistat. The reason I like vlogging is because of Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat put a vlog out every fucking day. And around the time that I was losing my shit, I didn't want to watch TV or nothing. I lost myself in this guy's stuff. Why? I don't fucking know, but I watch it and I tune in and I watch it and I every day. And then when he stopped daily vlogging, I lost my shit. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? I got nothing to watch every day, so I would rewatch all his stuff. You know what I mean? And the little by little that I started rewatching stuff, I started looking at like, yo, I could do this. If he's not gonna vlog every day, I'm gonna vlog every day. But I didn't share everything because I started overthinking of the quality and this. But it was a small step that started leading me to doing stuff that I didn't really know whether you call it having a passion, but I found interesting. And it entertained me enough where I didn't notice the 4 or 5 hours I would spend on watching videos on how to edit or upload or use the camera or where to go and lighting and all this shit. Like, I know I still got a lot to learn, but if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't have triggered that for me to find that thing. Now he doesn't stream, he doesn't post like that, he doesn't share, but I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm thankful for what he did because that got me to start finding my own way, my own thing. And that's why I'm thankful for the community. I'm thankful for the people who give me the time of day, who show up in the chat, who share my stuff, who hit me up in the DMs, who talk to me. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be more open to doing things differently. I learned so much from all of you, from the stories you share, and the number one thing it shows me is like, yo, I'm not alone. Like, I've been through this and some other person's been through something similar. So I'm thinking no one's ever going to understand. Meanwhile, I'm meeting so many of you that are showing me different. And that's the same thing I want to try to do with my stuff. I just want to show everyone like, yo, you're not alone. Doesn't matter whether you're starting from 0 or 100 or whatever the fuck it is. Like, you can make it to the point where you want to be at. It just takes time. You got to take time and you actually got to care about what the fuck you're doing. And I try to take that and I try to push that onto my kids also as I'm learning it. So help them along the way so they're not behind and they don't get to the point where they get to my age and they're like, damn, like, I wish I would have knew this. I wish someone would have sat down and talked to me and told me. I don't ever want to be like, well, I knew, you just never asked. Like, no, like, I want to be able to just put it out there. And if you ever need it, it's there. And if you don't, fuck it, keep it moving. It don't matter. So again, I'm going on like this rant and I don't mean to, but it's been like 2 weeks that I've been having all these things in my head that I just want to share with people. And but yeah, so my work schedule has been hectic. I've been trying to balance that. I've been playing around with different ideas of content that I want to do. So clocking out is not only just going to be about interviewing people. Soon you're going to see that my friend Eric is going to be joining us. My sister will be popping in and out. She's been showing interest that she wants to get into this. So little things like that, as well as my son. My son is like, he's like, I'm the co-host. That's it. I'm on it. We're doing mail days every day. And he just thinks people just send me stuff just to send me stuff. And I told him, I was like, it doesn't happen. We have to wait to get a good number of stuff to do things. But it's that process of having the excuse to interact with each other and speak about things. And I love it. I love to be able to talk, because when you end up around people and you don't have any social currency, that's how you end up talking shit. You just start talking bullshit of like, oh, did you know this person's doing this? And did you know about this drama? Did you hear about? I don't ever want to be that. I actually want to try and give value to people in some way and be like, listen, I learned this today from this person, or I didn't know this person was working on this project. We should go check it out if you're interested. Like, and it's literally led me to learn so much about all of you, but also be able to learn a lot in the sense of like, all right, you know, this person, I thought I couldn't start a business. This person started with nothing and he has less than me, or he's had an even harder time dealing with things than I have. You know what I mean? And again, it just gives me hope seeing that all of you come from similar situations, if not worse than me. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you guys are still able to have a smile on your face and still able to reach out and give your time to other people without a second thought. It's those things that get me to reevaluate how I am. And I'm like, yo, I'm a secluse and I stay closed off to myself. And it's out of the fear of judgment or this and that. And at the end of the day, that's stupid, because all of you understand, all of you can relate. You know, it's just giving each other that time to really just share and be open to listening to other people. And with all of that, you know, I'm gonna come back into podcasting. It's gonna be random during the day, unless I specifically have someone scheduled, because I know their schedule are crazy also. I won't really probably have anyone in the morning, because it's kind of hard to know if I'm going to be able to have the time to be back to do it or not. At night, 100%, I know I at least want to try streaming each week. My goal is to stream at least 5 hours. 5 hours a week or more. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But that's my personal goal. At least do that every week and stay consistent with it, so I can have stuff, so I can stay consistent with editing to get better at editing and better at creating different forms of content and things like that. I'm trying to, once I financially things are a little bit better, I want to go randomly to just events that I know are happening, whether it's related to the community or not. I just want to have an excuse to go out there and be seen with my camera and just get more comfortable and not overthink about being seen with a big camera, or even if it's my small, you can't even see it because of my small little DJI camera, or this big monster of a thing. I don't know if it's gonna come up. Freaking this huge thing that I was around at VCon with. Freaking can't. But regardless of what, like, I just want to get more comfortable in that. I want it to be like second nature, and that's my whole goal with it. Again, thank you to the people who are hanging out in the Twitch. I appreciate you. Thank you, Brofit. Thank you, Savvy. Thank you, Soggy, for stopping by. But real quick, so I can get to everything, because I at least got like a half hour left before I got to break out of here. So my main focus is I want to help support people. So what I want to do is, or what my plan is moving forward, is I just recently received the subscription button, subscriber button, or whatever the fuck, on Twitch. And I activated all that stuff. I haven't been promoting it or nothing like that yet, because I want to better go about things. But the way that I want to do everything is the subscription payments and any ads or donations or anything like that, I all want to put it into something for Clocking Out that's made just 100% going to focus on giving back to anyone who's a guest speaker. So if I have a guest speaker on, what I want to do is I want to support them. If they have a project, a business, a brand, or whatever it is that they're doing, I want to buy into that. I want to buy anywhere from 2 to 3 of those items that they have, or whatever it is that they have. I want to keep one in the vault of Clocking Out for the life of it, to show that we've been a supporter since whenever it is that we started interacting, and for the life of the podcast and the life of whatever you have going on. And I want to give 2 of them away to people who are either listening, supporting, or whatever. Right now, you're probably like, oh, how's that gonna, this is where I came across this issue with a lot of people. It's not sustainable. You can't profit. I don't care about the profit. I don't give a shit about that. So what I want to do is I want to do that for people who actually give their time and money. So for people who give their money, I want to show them, like, look, this is going towards that, right? The way that I'm going to do it is, I'm going to go more in depth in rules, but this is just to give people a good idea. Basically, I'm going to have that as a paid option, but there's also going to be a free option. The free option is going to be with POAPs. I used POAPs for many years before, since 2019. I was using the POAP system, and I was creating POAPs and everything. And the whole point of that was to build up enough POAPs to where by the end of the year or so, I could do giveaways for people for free. And basically, if you gave your time and support in any way, you'd be rewarded a POAP, and we were going to use that POAP as an access token so that you can get into a paid giveaway. The paid giveaways are going to be the raffles. There's going to be free giveaways also. I don't want anyone to worry about that. There's going to be free giveaways also for people just giving their time and supporting and everything like that. We're going to go into detail about that in another stream. But for the people who actually do pay, I don't want to use the money. I have a job. If you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I would love if this replaced my job someday, but I don't see that happening. But for right now, whatever I do get, I want to take that money and put it towards what I said and support any guest speakers or any other creators, or, anyone who's doing their own thing and needs a little bit of help. I want to make sure it goes towards that. The way that I want to do it is basically, I'm going to have raffles. To enter the raffle, there's 2 ways that I'm going to go about entering the raffle. For right now, the way that we're going to start it off is, if you subscribe, if you make a donation or any of that stuff, that money is going to go towards the raffle, right? So it's either going to be a product, an item of something like that, supporting any of our... Oops, sorry, I keep burping. It's going to be going towards supporting any of our guest speakers or anybody that's come on to the podcast. And the way that's going to support them is, we're going to buy into whatever they have. And then the people who paid a subscription or whatever are going to be into the raffle. So the same way that there's different levels and different tiers, there's different levels and different tiers for subscribers, whether you're do the $4.99, the $10.99, or the $24.99, or whatever it is, the prices, it's going to be different tiers of the raffle. So, from the smallest one to the biggest one, and I want to make it to where it makes sense. So depending on how many people come into it, as long as there's more than one for each tier, there's going to be a raffle. right? So those are going to be the people who are paying. So your money is going to go towards something that gives you an opportunity so that you can win something that's going to support those people. That's where the money is going to be going to. All right. Instead of me just taking your money. Then for the people who tune in and can't do that, because I understand, I've been there myself. I know what it's like not to be able to have the money, wanting to support or wanting to get into any of these things and buy a spot and, you know, whatever. Like, I understand that. I understand how much it sucks when you want to do something, despite how cheap it may be, you don't have the money. So I want to, regardless of what, I feel like people should be given something for their time. Besides for me keeping you entertained, if I can do that, or sharing some information, if I'm able to do that, or whatever it is, I want to give back to the people who share my post, who comment, who interact in the chat, who show up for the live streams. And the way that I want to give back to people in that way is with the POAPs. So if you tune in for your time and effort and for you interacting, and, you know, there's going to be a lot of other ways to go about it, you're going to be rewarded with a POAP, and your POAP is going to be used as an access token so that you can get a chance at winning an opportunity to get into the raffle that's paid. All right. So it's not just going to be one freaking POAP. It's going to be a certain amount of POAPs. All right. I've mentioned this in the past before. It's just now I have a bit of a buzz, so I'm bringing it back because I feel like it'll work. And I think that if we do it where there's a certain number of POAPs, you're going to have a choice. There's going to be free giveaways that you can use your POAPs for to go in and win something for free. If not, you can hold on to them. And when the opportunity comes, that you can use it for a chance to enter in for the paid raffle. Okay. But you're going to have to make a choice. So I'm always going to have giveaways going on, but it's going to be up to you. You can either use it for the giveaway that's coming up, or you can wait until a little later on the month or later on the year if I have something that you think is bigger, and you can enter that. But you can't enter a giveaway more than once throughout the month. So if you did a free giveaway, that's it. If you went into a paid giveaway, that's it. But now the other thing is if you didn't enter, you can hold those POAPs and enter for the next one. All right. If you paid a subscription and you didn't win in that POAP for that month, you paid for the month. So regardless of what, you're going to be in the next giveaway. So when I say I haven't pushed it out yet, is because I want to work out one thing. I want to work out to make sure it's public. I want to publicly show how much is made, where the money's going to, how much is spent on what, so that you know. Because I'm one of the people, I'm sure as many others, that gets upset that you pay into something and then you win something that doesn't even equivalent to half of what you paid for. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times I know a lot of people go into stuff because they're hoping that they can get something to flip. Again, I'm not focused on the profit part. So I honestly have a bunch of stuff that I'm just sitting on that I paid, that honestly, the only reason I got it was just to give it away. I think it's pretty dope stuff that people would like to get. But there's reasons behind it, in the sense that it's just not just a random item. It's something that gives you a small introduction either to the person that had the person's brand or their business or service who was a guest speaker. If not, it's into a certain community that I felt like was very helpful and beneficial to me, which was VFriends, which is why for now, until VCon, I want to do something where I'm going to help spread the word of VFriends. Not for any other reasons, but again, it's just because VCon, like I mentioned, VFriends helped me at a time that I was in a dark place and I was going through a lot of stuff. And I felt like if I can try to introduce people, not to the brand of VFriends, but the community at least, I feel like I would help a lot of people. So that's why I want to give out some of the merch that I got, whether it's the little plushie dolls, the 6-inch figurines, the little minis, any of the graded cards that I got. And then, you know, maybe VFriends isn't your cup of tea and you like something else. I still like trading cards. Trading cards is my thing. I like it. It entertains me. It's the thing that brings me nostalgia. So I also have Pokemon. I have Yu-Gi-Oh! I have Dragon Ball. I have Naruto. I have Garbage Pail Kids. I have all that shit. So it's like all those things, I want to give people an intro to it just by letting them win something. Maybe that first pack you open is what gets you to find your own new hobby. You know what I mean? Or maybe introducing you to someone who has their own business or brand, whether it's cooking or fitness or just, you know, self-awareness or whatever it is that they have going on, you know. Maybe that triggers you to find another community that makes you find your home or helps you get into something that you want to try out. That's the whole reason behind everything. So the whole point is I want to start doing the free giveaways. I want to start doing the raffles. And the way to go about that is the free giveaways are going to go by POAPs. You show up, you get a POAP. But now You can't do that's another thing that I'm working on, is how to track everything and have everybody's wallet and their social medias and all that. So I know if this person entered a giveaway and he won, he can't go in twice. If this person paid for a giveaway, they can't do a free giveaway and a paid giveaway. Like, you have to make your choice. You have to decide. When the opportunity comes, I'm going to let you know, like, all right, this month or whatever, this giveaway is going to be coming up, and I'm going to let you know what the giveaway is going to be for, what the prize is or whatever, so you can make a decision for yourself. Are you going to use those POAPs to enter this free giveaway? Or are you going to hold on to them to get another 3 or 4 so you can have a chance at winning a spot to winning something in the paid raffle for free? That's how it's going to work. And it's going to be the same thing for the people who subscribe. If you're a subscriber, automatically, if you paid, you're going to be entered in for that giveaway. Now, throughout the whole month, you subscribe for the whole month and you don't win anything, or you don't even have a chance to get into the giveaway. Oh, you wasted your money. Oh, no, because I'm going to have another giveaway and I'm going to keep track. So if you didn't win anything, you get entered into the next one automatically. Now, for the people who have the free stuff, you got to put in some work. That's the only way I can put it, that I can make it fair. I have to make it fair to the people who are paying and the people who yeah, no, it's that it's I wanted to think of, like, I really put myself, the reason my stuff doesn't make sense, it's not going to make sense. Like, you'll probably pay $4 for a month subscription and you'll have a chance at winning a slab that's probably anywhere from $20 to $30. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, oh, that makes no sense. Yeah, it doesn't. But when you think about it, if I at least get 6 people to enter it, even if I only get 2, it's still going to happen. I'm not going to be like, oh, guys, we didn't reach that goal of having 6 people subscribe, so there's no giveaway this month because I didn't make my profit to cover. No, I'm never going to offer some shit that I can't afford giving away. That's why I haven't sent anything out to anyone. It's just been sitting there. But like I mentioned, it's to the point that I've bought so much stuff and it's just been sitting there for so long. I just want to give it away. I don't care about it. My benefit, my profit is to get a follow. That's it. Even if you don't subscribe, I just want to follow. That's it. Why? Because it looks better for me to have followers. So when I have a guest speaker, you're helping me by helping them. The more eyes and people I have to show that are paying attention to the new guest speaker, the better. That's all it is. I keep mentioning, like, that's what I'm trying to get across. And I don't know how to do it in any way. I'm learning how to get better at relaying this message. But the whole point is to have a community or have a following that literally is just focused on learning and trying to support other people. That's it. It's not about me. My face isn't on the clock. It doesn't say PR King of Hearts podcast. It's not a specific, it's clocking out. The whole goal is clocking out. People who are trying to clock out of their shitty fucking 9-to-5 jobs that they hate and trying to focus on having a career or starting a business or a brand or whatever, doing what they fucking love. Whether it's streaming, podcasting, vlogging, taking photography, cooking, working out. I don't give a shit what the fuck it is. Breaking boxes, ripping like, I also want to get to the point where I can buy spots on other people's stuff and be like, you know what? You came here. Now you want a spot to go over there. Go over there. Go to their stream and win some shit. Like, go check them out. Like, it's not about up. It can only be done on my, no, man, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's like the whole point is I want to learn how to help other people. The only way I could do that is by helping other people. Like, I don't care about all the other stuff. And it gets frustrating. And I get like this because for so long, I've had these ideas since 2019. We're in 2024, like right in the cusp of fucking blockchain and crypto and all that. Like, I had these ideas and I came up with them and I saw where it was leading. So I was like, yo, if I can help people get some skin in the game now, by the time it blows up in the next year or two, like, they already have enough experience and they'll be in all these different communities that whether people rug pull or people just stop doing what they're doing, the chances of me having 10 people and 3 out of those 10 not doing anything, or maybe 3 of those 10 are the only ones that do something, at least I can know that I helped introduce those people to those spaces. You know what I mean? And it actually started from a place where it wasn't looked at as malicious or all about money or all about. That's all I'm trying to do. I want to try and help people learn about other places so that they don't waste their time. They don't feel like they got just for a like or a follow or for a view or for one subscription or one. That's why, like, I don't have any intentions of trying to, like, my master plan of this has nothing about profit. Like, nothing makes sense of what I'll be able to possibly make as far as people donating or subscribing to what I'm going to be giving away. You know what I mean? Like the first, like there's gonna be tiers. The first tier is like for $4, you'll win one thing. The second tier will be probably two things. It'll be a plushie and a figure, maybe. The third tier will be a plushie, a figure, and a graded card, and a box of maybe some other random trading cards that maybe you like or you don't like. Maybe I'll give you the option. Maybe I'll spin the wheel, and the color on the wheel is gonna be a color on one of the boxes. You like Dragon Ball Z? There's gonna be 4 different stickers on 4 different packs of Dragon Ball Z. We'll spin the wheel, whatever color it is. Yeah, you go. You won. Not a card pack, but a boosted pack. You know what I mean? Like, it's things like that the only reason I want to do it, it isn't to one up or anyone else. It's just because of shit that I wish that I could see. It's shit that I want that's out there. That's what I'm doing. I just want to do shit as a person that's a fan of trading cards and all. I want to do that and give people that feeling. And I feel like if you focus too much on whether it's the profit or how much you're making or how much people can come, it fucks it all up. And I don't want to stress myself about that. I really don't. If I'm going to show what I can afford out of my pocket and what I could do, and if it's something that people want to like and try to get, do it. And if not, worst case, it just sits there and I hold on to it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't look at it like there's a bad thing about this. I already have said and told you I'm exposing myself. I got nothing else to do with my time but work and be with my kids. So if I'm streaming on here, it's strictly because I just want to stream. Period. Like, I don't have to worry about, damn, I took 3 hours out my day when I could have put it towards. No, I got my 2 jobs. I'm spending my time with my kids, which is why I explained all that in the beginning. Like, I'm going to do this when I have time for it. And I'm doing it because I have time for it and because I want to. I enjoy coming on here and talking with you guys. I enjoy interacting with you guys. My following isn't huge yet, but I have a strong feeling that if I stay true to who the fuck I am, how I'm feeling and the reason why I'm doing things and stay true to that moral compass, I feel like I've learned, thanks to all of you, that whether you're looking for those people or not, those people are going to find you. The right people are going to find you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I'm not worried about it. Like, my profit is like, I'm desperate, as corny, as pathetic as I'm desperate to meet other people. I'm 34 years old. I'm a secluse. I don't interact with nobody. The only interaction I get is with you people online. So it's like, I'm trying to make those connections that I should have made when I was younger. You know, a lot of people, we grew apart. Life happens. I get that. But it's to the point now where I have more memories alone and more dark thoughts and negative thoughts. And I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that. My kids are growing up right now. You know, it's cool. Daddy's podcasting. But when they get 15 into my daughter's 12, when she hits like 13, it's like she wants to go to the mall with her friends and hang out, and she ain't really care, like whatever. My son now is always, yeah, let's do stuff. But I know it's going to get to a point for him also where he's not going to care and he's going to want to do his own thing and not be interested in it. It's just, you know, and that's fine. I get that. But with that, like, I know how things go. I know how time goes on. And the last thing I want, Gary talks about it, I don't want to have that regret. And it's not really the regret of creating something. I find this entertaining. I used to do music. I love being on stage and making music. I stopped because I feel like, yo, my age, no one wants to see my old ass on there rapping about the shit that I rap about. And the things that I say are not acceptable nowadays. Like, my shit is borderline like Eminem fucking lyrical content where I say really reckless shit. And again, it's just because doing that and creating, I don't want to think. I don't want to think and hesitate. I just want to say stuff. That's why I did podcasting. I don't have to think twice. I say whatever the fuck I want. Who don't fucking like it, oh well. Get your own podcast and do your own shit. But that's the reason why I just want to show people, yo, be comfortable who you are. Be true to yourself. Be you. Like, a lot of people, oh, you gotta watch what you're saying, because if you're working with a brand, and I don't want to think of that. That's too much thinking for me. I already think too much in my life. I don't want to have to worry about the next person, what they feel and how they. That's not my job. I want to share my story, my experience with any of you. If you can relate, if you can learn, if you're entertained, whatever it is, cool. If not, yo, the internet is a huge place. There's a million other podcasts. Everybody and their mother nowadays has a podcast. Everybody and their mother has a cell phone. Like, you can literally network and connect with and DM and anybody. You don't have to stay stuck to one person or one community. There's so many out there. Is it hard to know who's real and who's fake? It's a risk. It's a risk, just like anybody else. The same way it's a risk when you buy a car and you don't know if it's really as safe as they say it is, or if you're buying in a brand and they're really going to follow through with whatever it is they told you their mission was, and what it's a shot in the dark. But if you really put in that proper 50 plus hours of time of learning and getting to know what's really going on before you jump full in, you have that reassurance of like, okay, I don't really got to think twice. This is, so far so good. That's what I did with Gary's stuff in the community, and I got so sucked in just because of how amazing it was that I kind of lost the whole thing of like, yo, you came here to network with people and just make friends and connect with people. And then it turned into a thing where I got to buy everything right now. As soon as I got to buy it. I got to buy it. And again, I didn't even think of the profit shit. I just wanted to buy it so that when the time came, I could be like, yo, remember that one shirt you dropped there, your first year that you only had 20 of? I got one. You know what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, I realized that shit doesn't matter because, people, they haven't posted anything and I don't care. It's fine, but they've DM'd me personally. I've sent people shit that I had Gary sign that I was going to keep to myself. I gave it to them. I have things and plushies that I just sitting there and someone I see just randomly like, yo, I wish I could get one. They don't have that out here no more. I just sent it to them. But I don't like, a lot of people call me stupid for it because they're like, yo, you're not benefiting from it. Tell them to tag you and make a video. And bro, I don't care. Because in the back of my mind, whether they're taking it to flip it and sell it, in my mind, they really needed it that bad. So fuck it. I helped them in a way. If it's that they took it and they gave it to their kids, or they gave it to someone because they maybe it was their birthday and they couldn't afford a gift or something like that. Or maybe it's just a hard day and they wanted to get them something because they know their son or themselves, they're always talking about Gary V and V friends and they just can't afford, or they're not able to be at the right place at the right time to get one. And I know what that feels like, bro. Like that's all I think about. I think about that shit. I think about like the depressing loneliness stuff because I feel like that's not talked about enough. That's all I think about. And it sucks because sometimes I know people take it like, you're full of shit. And that's cool. Because I've learned, again, within time, people start seeing the real you. People start learning who you really are when they take the time. There's other people that'll write you off. And then after some time, they realize they see your true colors. And then I'm sorry. That's cool. But you know what? I much rather not do nothing. You know what I mean? If that's what you thought in the beginning and you were quick to, I'll be here if you ever need help or something. But in all honesty, we don't have to start fucking the funk act that we're best friends now. You know what I mean? I don't like doing that neither. But if ever anyone needs help or needs someone, I'll be there. I'll try my best. And I say this to so many of you. I've said it to so many of you in the chat, so many of you that listen and show up. I am not the smartest person in the world. I'm not the richest person in the world. But if I can do it, I'll do it. I'll try my best and I'll do it. And if not, I guarantee you, without a reasonable doubt, I know someone else that could do it better than me. And maybe they might not be the perfect person at it, but I can guarantee you they know more than me and they can help you better than I can. They'll make it look better than I can. They'll make it sound better than I can. They can execute it and be more organized than I am. And if they can't do it, I damn sure promise you they know someone else who can do it a step level better than they do. You know what I mean? And at this point, I do all that because for a long time, and a lot of I always said, I have nothing to offer people. That's why I do the podcast and I let them talk, and I try to use whatever following I have, whether it's more than them or less than them. I try to use the attention that I am good at getting because I like getting people's attention. If I could do that and just point them in the right direction and show them like, look, now that I got your attention, go here, check this out. Go peep them out. Go look at what they're doing. Go show them love. Go, he can help you. He knows more than me. She knows more than me. They got something going on. Go. That's the whole goal with all this shit. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that, a lot of people know that I'm just trying my best to just put the word out there. I just want to help. And I know that there's only so much I could do with a like and a follow and a retweet myself personally. But now that things are gaining a little bit more momentum and it's getting to the point where I can monetize and all that, I second guess it because of the fact I don't want to use people just to use them for their money. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that whatever I get, I'm able to pay it forward and give it back. So that's gonna be happening with the POAPs. That's gonna be happening with the giveaways and the raffles. And within time, if it moves up to merch, I want to do the same thing with merch. If I do have merch, I don't want to just make money off of it. I want I want everything I ever offer you guys. If there's any option to pay, if you do pay, I want it to be to go back into the podcast to help make it bigger. And I feel like the best thing I could do to help the podcast become bigger and better and help support other creators is to use whatever profit I do make, little, big or small, doesn't matter, and pay that forward to the people who are giving their time, whether you're a guest, whether you're a supporter, and just give back like that. You know what I mean? And at the same time, we're going to be putting my own money into this and my own time and my own. That's it. You know what I mean? If it ever gets to the point I see it's absolutely going nowhere, I'll probably just stop all the subscription stuff and cut that and just still be podcast because it entertains me. It keeps me. I talk to myself like crazy. So to talk to myself and be on here and say one or two things that might resonate with people, hey, that's my goal. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that I go about presenting it right. I want to make sure that no one takes anything as an indirect mark or something like that, or like I'm trying to judge or not. That's not it. I'm just learning from other people. I'm seeing how they go about things. I'm paying attention to the things that people say and don't like and do like. I'm also paying attention to what I like and don't like as a fan of it or as a collector or whatever the fuck you want to look at it as a community member. And I take note of it. And I ask, is there a way to fix this or do it better? And if there is, can I do it? And then I ask myself, well, why aren't other people doing it? So I look at it like if I could do something to lead by example to show like, yo, there's really no reason you can't show exactly what you're profiting, how much you're making, and then show where that's going to. You don't have to. But in the case of what I'm trying to do, I want to do that. I want to have a place where all the profit of, if any, from subscriptions, from donations to ads, if that's something that makes money or whatever the hell, like, or plays or views or streams or what, I want to have a spot. And that's what I'm working on. That'll show everything all in one place where if people are ever curious, they can go check. You know what I mean? So instead of you thinking, yo, you made $300 off of the subscription and you're only giving a giveaway for this much. No, I want to do a giveaway that makes sense. I don't want to spend the whole amount, but I want to be able to still use enough to give it to you guys and have some left over. So the next round of giveaways or whatever, like the whole point is just to keep giving back. If the only reason I would have that money or have the attention is because of you. So why wouldn't I find a way to give it back to you guys? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe there's a day I don't have anything anyone wants to win, because not everybody wants to get some trading cards, or not everyone wants to get some memorabilia or shirts and shoes or a figure or a plushie, or sometimes people don't want none of that. Sometimes people want money because they need the money. So I'd like to do something like that too and give people money that they need it. You know what I mean? Maybe they need some help paying for their bills or something like that. Again, I'm not the richest person, but if something comes in where it's a good amount, you know what I mean? And it's something I see that can be used in a way to really make a difference in someone's life in some way, shape, or form, I really want to try my best to do it. But again, it's a lot of stuff I got to learn. I'm still learning all that. I don't know the legal ways to go about it, the proper ways to go about it. I want to make sure that the right people who need the help get it. I want to make sure that the right people who deserve to win stuff win it. Not that I'm going to rig wins, but like, I don't just want to give everybody an opportunity just because they show up. I've dealt with that in the past where I've done a POAP and freaking mad accounts that I've never even heard of or seen before show up, and then I never see them again. Why? I don't know, because none of my POAPs are worth anything right now, but I understand. I get the whole thing of wanting to just get something for free. So I want to do it, but where it makes sense. I want to do it within reason. There's also going to be ways that people are going to have to show proof of work. I've mentioned this in my earlier podcast too from season 1. That's the whole reason I'm a big fan of POAPs. I want to be able to give people a soft entry into the Web3 space, how to make a wallet, how to transfer one thing to another. I feel like once you have hands-on experience with that, you get a better idea of what blockchain is, what NFTs are, what a digital wallet is. Like, I have POAPs for that, you know, if people tuned into those episodes and they answered certain questions related to the episode that showed that they learned something about blockchain or crypto wallets, that they got a POAP for it. So, and that's another thing. All those POAPs, I got like 30 something, some odd POAPs that I created in the past. Those POAPs are still going to be used. Like those people who the OGs, you guys are going to be in for, like, because you can combine those with the new POAPs and you can still use it. So if you're short a POAP or two and you need 4 to get in or 5 or whatever the number is, you can use the old ones that you have. I'll have a certain amount of those that are related to whatever the giveaway is going to help you guys moving forward also. You know, but right now, what I'm trying to do is I want to reach out to all the people who had as guest speakers, from Ryan from V Dads. We had Ben who does tattooing. We had Chels and Tom. We need to get Jay on here, from To the Moon. I and Josh from the Josh Kirk show. Soggy, like so many people that I've had on here that I want to go back and see what they're working on and see how I can help support them and what they're doing. Maybe they're selling stuff on eBay, so I'll try and win or buy whatever it is they're selling and use that to give it away to somebody. You know what I mean? Savvy mentioned how her and her kids have their own little thing that she's starting up and she's selling things and listing things on eBay. I want to go in there and buy some stuff like that and give it to people. You know what I mean? I want to go and buy a spot for one of the card breaks or something like that within reason, as long as I can afford it, from To the Moon, and give it to someone as a giveaway. I also want to do the same thing for Josh's stream, whether he's doing it on Twitch or whatnot or whatever. I want to do things like that and just give back to people. One, I feel like it gives them the opportunity to get more involved and it gives them an introduction into what they're doing. And I feel like once you give someone an introduction like that, they'll have that experience and they'll know if they really want to show up, if they want to support that person, if they want to show up here, if they want to learn more, if that, you never know. That could be the person's first time entering one of the giveaways or entering anything that is related to ripping a pack or opening boxes, and they don't know how it works and they just hesitate because they don't know if they should risk the money or whatever. So if I can do that to eliminate that fear financially, where it gives them that proper introduction and firsthand experience to give them some skin in the game, I want to do that. Because me, myself personally, I know that that's something that held me back a lot. Thinking about, is it worth going into it? Is it stupid? Do I even know enough to know how it works? But when someone goes, yo, we'll do something for free, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do it for free. What am I gonna lose? It's free. So why not? It's either I like it or I don't like it. It works or it doesn't work, but it's free. So that's what I want to try to do. I want to give everybody the opportunity that they deserve, one, to get that experience, and two, to help support people who might not have the recognition or support that they should need, or that they need, or that they should have. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I want to make clocking out, the Clocking Out podcast or Clocking Out content, whether it's vlogging, YouTube, and whatever. I just want to show that. I want to show that, and I want to share it, and I want to try to do my part to help other people. And I want to do it for as long as I can, as long as it's helpful, as long as it's working, and just keep moving forward from there. But I'm gonna break out of here soon. Thank you for Fit for stopping by. Thank you for Soggy for stopping by. Savvy, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I don't know if anybody else. Let me check. Yeah, we got people on X apparently. That's another thing. StreamYard, your man suspect. You stay saying that there's like 30 people watching on X, but yet you never see nothing. I gotta check that out. I don't know whether it's X that's lying about the views or whether it's StreamYard lying just to hype people up to use the app. I don't know what it is, but I know something fishy is going on because these numbers make no type of fucking sense on here. What's going on, Soggy? Yeah, you too, man. Thank you for tuning in and taking the time, man. I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Oh, real quick, everybody, later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, Megan, Slowpoke Megan is going to be on here. I'm having her as a guest speaker, my first guest speaker coming back. We're going to be talking about her stream that she had last night doing her tarot card reading. I want to get more informed than that. I want to spread the word of what she's doing and what she's going on. So if you're available later today, I'm going to make sure that I post it up when I have a chance and start, trying to promote it to get people to come. Please stop by and show some love. I'd really want to help support her on what she's doing. I'm really interested in it. That's why I didn't ask for a tarot reading last night. I'm going to see. I'm kind of scared about it. I have, just like Savvy mentioned, there's certain things that I was told not to do. But I'm going to give it a shot, and I want to ask some questions. I want to get properly, informed. She's been doing it for 9+ years. So, I feel like, she shared some stories of her firsthand experiences from other people who claimed to be able to do the same, and she was able to see through it. And so, yeah, I have questions that I want to ask. I want to get properly educated on it. I want to help spread the word of what she has going on. She's a very amazing young girl. And for those who don't know, that's Ben Kind's daughter. And I look at Ben Kind as a big brother of mine for, how he's been supportive and helping me, as well as Soggy. I look at you as a brother as well, man, for as open and upfront and honest as you've been with me, and you call me on bullshit, and I feel a lot of us need that. A lot of us need those people who are raw and upfront about things. And Soggy and Ben, I can honestly say, are two people I'm really happy that I've gotten to meet and gotten to know, because they've helped keep me grounded and level headed when it comes to times that I feel like I'm overthinking and stuff. So thank you to you guys. But please, if you're available, just check out any of I'll be posting. I'll be sharing it like crazy. I'll be tagging her and everything like that. But if all goes well and there's no scheduling conflicts or anything like that, which I highly doubt on mine is going to happen, I want to make sure she's available also. We're going to have Slowpoke Megan on here. We're going to do hopefully a tarot card reading, and then go more in depth to who she is, what she's about, and how she got into all that, So if you're available later on tonight, join us here on X, on Twitch, YouTube also. Hit us with a like, a follow, a subscribe on YouTube. It's free. I'm not pushing the subscriptions on Twitch just yet, because I still feel like I got a lot to learn. But if you happen to do so and I haven't seen the notification, thank you. I'll be sure to check it out and give you a shout out later. I want to make sure I keep track of that also. And yeah, so just be on the lookout, man. I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I'm trying my best to work, just keep everything balanced. I'm trying my best to show up. Like I mentioned, I'm saying it publicly and I'm having it recorded because I want to hold myself accountable and just put it out there. So if anyone sees me slacking, Soggy, if you see me in my head too much, man, tell me to stop my shit. And anyone that sees me slacking, just call me out. Be like, yo, what's going on, bro? Let's get shit going. But yes, my goal is to at least stream for 5 hours or more each week. I want to try my best to at least have a minimum of 2 guest speakers a week. But other than that, I'll be having different content. We're going to be on here talking about conspiracy theories. We're going to be giving our opinions on Netflix shows that you're addicted to and watch, or movies, or even cartoons, certain brands and products, just a lot of stuff. A lot of debating back and forth, the good, the bad, the ugly, and also trying to properly inform and educate people so they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of in any way if they get involved in anything in any other communities, or if they buy into a certain brand or anything like that. It's just to give people a better idea. I feel like there's a lot of things that are just not talked about enough or shared enough publicly, as much as it is as we tell people to buy things or get into stuff. I noticed that a good amount of people rush to buy into things because, one, they feel like it's absolutely necessary to be considered part of a community, which is bullshit. I've been learning that. And 2, a lot of people jump into things because they automatically believe they're going to make a huge flip and they're going to profit. And a lot of them don't understand that things take time. It takes time to build up to that. You can't just go and pay, $200-$300 for something and then put it online for $800 to $900 and think that it doesn't really work that way. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it might, but it doesn't happen all the time. Those are rare once in the blues. And I feel like there's a lot of people that when it comes to this space, they just know it's related to NFTs or crypto, and they're so quick to jump on it because they see one thing is doing better than the other, and they automatically assume they're going to be set for life. And they end up putting themselves in a pretty bad position and dealing with a shitty situation. And I really want to help people avoid pointing the finger saying it's your fault and you should have told me and all that. So I want to do my part. I was one of those people. That felt like I've taken advantage of, or I got, and it was all because I was made to feel, or I was pressured to think that it was necessary and required to be considered a part of the community or a supporter or, or a fan. And it's really not. All that's bullshit. So I want to help anyone else who's like me, anyone else who's not like me. You're not alone. So many people in this world love you, and there's so many people willing to give their love carelessly without a second thought to help you, to help support you, to help, just get you through whatever you're going through. So if I can help introduce you to those people, to those communities through this space, that's all I want to do. So I'm going to get the fuck out of here because I got to go back to work. So exciting. I love you guys. I hope you all have an amazing day. Stay safe. Peace.